Today, cartoon breaking news, the highlights of this video. The first one is basically Genndy Fix, the adult comedy movie, would not be showing on theaters because Warner Brothers kind of didn't want this movie and give it back to Sony. I explained that why it happens later on this sort of video. The second highlight, 323 came out and showed everything what Disney have in the next couple of years. It was sort of mid. Talk about that later on this video. And the third final highlight of today is basically Dan, the creator of Phineas and Ferb, wants to do a crossover with Hansel and Gretel. That plus so much more, and later in cartoon breaking news. Of course, this is the first time on my channel. My name is Recho. I like to talk about animation. Not just animation, do reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, if you like how it's going, you'd like to help my channel, put like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If you don't, that's fine too. But if you do, thank you, because of you, I'm going close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers, and I'm getting close every single day. Thanks to all the people who put like, comment, and share. And thank you. Now let's start with the first cartoon breaking news of the day. Now the first segment of the day you probably maybe heard because this sort of kind of not stop talking in the cartoon community a couple days. This basically Cartoon Network was sort of shutting down, and let's just have the statement from Cartoon Network stating, yes, our website is shutting down, but we actually doing this because we focus on our shows and also social networks, because that's the only place they actually thinking actually was sort of grow even more than being stagnated. If you know, here's the full sort of paragraph they actually explain on Cartoon Hub, and a lot of people were sort of surprised. They shut down the website, shutting down a lot of things, and a lot of mixed emotions, and that is sort of not a biggest surprise because how WB, it just sort of bleeding money a lot, and they just don't know what to do. They're just shutting down things left and right, and part tempted to make things a little bit more cheaper and more affordable for them to make at least more shows, because they're doing this specifically just leave it as a sort of brand and under that name or brand of shows coming up, while actually having your own building or anything else. It's just sort of shocking, but sort of should not be sort of surprising, because they were cutting back, shutting some things here there, like they closed down the building in CW, and many other little things. Like, it's something you could probably see it coming a mile away. It's just you have that question when they gonna shut down, and apparently they did right now. But besides that, how you felt about this news? Are you a little bit upset? You're unhappy, or just a few people are just reminiscing of all the best shows of Cartoon Network made back in the 2000s and the 90s? Tell me down below how you felt. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now this news is from the Wrap, and anything from the Wrap you should actually take it seriously, because they usually pick up very kind of international things in pop culture or etc. Now words, they're very respected now words, and they actually sort of standing down, talk to the people of Crunchyroll, HBO, hey, what's actually going on. If you don't know, basically it was a huge leakage of a lot of different anime series, like the premiere of ReZero, Hopstopper, and Arcane, and many other different little things was basically leaked up from Netflix, Crunchyroll, and HBO Max. And this, the Wrap, they put on the title of their first page called Netflix, Crunchyroll, Dead Leak from the full episode of anime titles like Hopstopper Season 3 release. And they just sort of go down explaining where the leak actually come from. One of them actually from TikTok. After that, it spread on X. And after that, they couldn't stop it and went completely viral. Now, which of the shows was basically leaked? Well, one of them I already told you was ReZero. The other one is actually Terminator Zero That's the one that got hit the most hardest because the whole season was basically dropped. You also have that and then the first 6 episodes was leaked. Rumble 1.5, the four episodes were leaked. Hopstoppers that I never actually remember that one. I don't know what that was about, and I think there also a movie that Netflix also got leaked. I remember the movie's name is based on a book. About two parents becoming sort of monsters and a daughter trying to figure out how to make him back to normal. I don't remember the title, but that was sort of the thing. They're also talking about House of the Dragon season finale ending will also leak on TikTok and X and also other different websites. But they do put a statement, or at least the rap got a personal interview from Netflix saying they do everything they possibly can to actually stop basically the leakage, so not ruin anything. But this article is going deeper that fans begged Netflix to drop all the series before the date, dude. It's because they were afraid they were ruining the hype and ruining the potential of like Dan or Terminator Zero because they're brand new series and they can actually ruin what was special because of the leakers. For right now, nobody knows who leaked it. They just sort of come out from TikTok. After that, they attempt to figure out how to basically figure out where it was specifically leaked. But they do say the leakage come from early showings for different other partner websites that accidentally let it go before the due date. But other things were sort of actually hacked, like Dan and many other anime that I actually mentioned of this video. But they attempted to stop everything down. Yeah, I'm wondering maybe the fans are completely right that they should actually show all the movies, TV series early. Like, don't say that much, just commercialize it like the last minute because Netflix worked that way. But people don't understand. Netflix do drop things and let the hype be itself, let the fans hype it up, but it's sort of a formula they know how to do and actually work for them. But doing this, just drop it just because what actually happened, this could be maybe a worse idea because you don't know how people will actually know it come out because it's sort of so random that could not actually work. So yeah, it's like a 50-50 chance the series or movie will not be a hit because it's just so random drop. So yeah, but at the same time the fans are technically right. They just can't really trust the leakers. They will drop it just because they have some clout. But other than that, I don't know. It's sort of it's a hard place and a hard. I don't know how the phrasing goes. Like getting stuck in a hard place and a soft place or something like that. There is basically no win scenarios, and I think that's the only problem. That you have to stick with your guns, wait till the due date drop, or just randomly drop it before the leakers fully drop all the episodes. It's sort of hard to actually do. On top of all this, you have all the contractors work on this series, and you have to talk to them how they feel. This could hurt it or not. A lot of things over the place. You just don't know what to do. That's fully understandable. Of course, I do recommend read the article on the wrap of this. It's just sort of interesting. It's not that long. If you just want more specific details. But whatever I said of this segment is exactly what it come out in the article. But it's just sort of interesting and sort of sad. A lot of people work so hard to actually do this anime series, but someone just hacked it and leaked it just because. Of course, people are complaining like always, saying so they can get all the series from Netflix and Crunchyroll. Why not they actually hack Warner Brothers and attempted to get all the films like Scooby-Doo Haunt or the other Looney Tunes movie that posted would not come out. They should actually hack it and leak it. And that's one of the complaints. Yeah, but like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. Hacking is sort of completely different. Hacking is more like sort of trying to call or go intercept sort of conversations. May do that time they do transfer. It's a lot of little kind of clever things they must do to actually fully hack something. So yeah, it's something that just got really lucky to actually hack it nowadays. And I think that's the best way to explain how sometimes they get things. Sometimes they convince the other person on the other side, or they're like the main CEO of Netflix, or they're pretending to be a secretary, or little things like that, just to had to get something from them. But once more, they have to be really lucky because usually this type of companies they do have decent security, not amazing. Even they have a lot of money to actually double down and protect their stuff. Usually they don't. And this is sort of the few reasons why they get hacked. But besides that, how you felt about this? You're upset, you're glad, or you actually watched some of this stuff? Tell me down below. Let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news of this video. Now this is from Toon Hub, actually posting on the Twitter slash X, posting saying Warner Bros. No longer releasing Genndy Tartakovsky fix in theaters anymore. They give it back to Sony. So that's what's basically the last report for now. People are sort of kind of terrified because it says if Sony cannot find someone who buy the film or send it to someone else to stream it, will be like the same fate as Coyote versus Acme and Scooby Doo Holiday Hunt. They basically text right off. Or who knows, maybe they make another deal with Netflix and Netflix will buy that and basically put it on theaters for 2 weeks and put it on their own streaming service. Or they got real lucky, Amazon buy it because once more, adult animation work for them very well. It can easily be another jewel on their own crown if Amazon decide to buy it. In fact, I think the only two companies I feel could actually make this work is Sony. I mean, not Sony. Netflix or Amazon. Maybe Apple, but I don't know. Like, I hope they do find another buyer, someone who actually wants to release this in theaters. If not, I'm fine with maybe hoping Netflix or Amazon who want to buy it and release it. But this want to come out in theaters needs to be basically more Amazon because Amazon want to be more traditional. First theaters after a couple of weeks later they put it in the home streaming service. And I hope they do because I feel this could change the game if someone wants to take the risk. And hopefully they do. Hopefully, I mean, this kind of things you really don't know because making a movie is hard, selling it even harder, and hoping people will actually want to see it, even as adult comedy. Even that, for right now, Genndy is popular in the cartoon community, but he's not well known like Spielberg. That hopefully this film will maybe launch or give more confidence to normies to give any chance to Genndy any type of film he makes because he can easily change the game. He's so closest to be maybe the next Spielberg or someone at least recognizable for a couple more films. At least we hope for the best. I don't know you how you felt about this. You are upset or you believe this is a second opportunity from Netflix or Amazon? Tell me down below. Let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now, this segment followed a Kickstarter project called Lovers in Crime, a 2D animated project. This is actually based on a comic, but they clarify it is sort of based on it, but think of it as sort of a reboot animated series of the original comic. Now, what is this sort of project? This is basically a post-apocalyptic 1950s style city drama and noir anime series follow a gay couple who are actually basically kind of thugs in a way, trying to promote themselves in the higher ranks. And to me, that kind of sounds interesting, especially the more back you go, the more hostile people really are, specifically if you're a person of color or actually gay. And unfortunately, our two main leads are people of color and gay. So if they find out they're gay, there's so much chance they'll be off them, especially if they are a gangster world. That itself sounds very interesting and very high risk, but you just don't follow them. You also follow other four more characters because you follow six in total. The other two is basically a old detective who have a chip in his shoulder, and sort of a doctor who feel guilty the things he did. You also follow two more detectives called junior detectives who are rookies, but they both of them have secrets why they sort of joined becoming junior detectives. But for right now, that's all they actually say. But of course, the goal of this project or this Kickstarter is to get at least $10,000, at least for the animatic. And they actually push it more if they can get more money, about 50,000. You actually get color and more animation fluid. But of course, the end goal of this project get at least to 100, like about 100 grand ish, because that's sort of usually the perfect line that usually every other project asks, just around 50 or 100 or 75,000. But this one started going to close to 100,000. But it doesn't say how long of the episode, or at least I'm not yet found that specific episode detailing what how long the episode it really be. Usually it's just be 9 or 6 minutes, but the longer the cost, more easier longer the episode. I'm guessing if they get the main goal around 50 to 100 grand per the pilot episode, they could probably give 20 minutes. But other than that, it sounds kind of interesting, at least to me. But once more, I never read the comic, and also it's sort of risky. It's sort of rebooting the comic, so they have a lot of different changes. But yet, that's not a bad idea because sometimes you cannot copy and paste the original source. You have to play with the storyline and some character, make it work in a different type of medium, specifically animation. Because sometimes if you follow the exact comic, it doesn't really make sense because you only see one direction. You see what the character sees in the comic. In an animated project, you have more open view, like why this person on the same place. Especially how they easily can actually turn to see the other one. You have moments like that sometimes that doesn't really make sense. It makes sense more in comics than actually animated projects because I've seen this sort of mistake on anime. Every time they adapted a manga to an anime, they just decide to copy and paste it. And you read the manga, it makes sense. You're watching the anime series, it really doesn't. It really needed to actually change some things to actually make sense in animation. Once again, it's just a sort of the open idea. You have more better scope and understanding of everything. But once more, this is if they decide to change it, that was sort of a good. But besides that, how you felt about this? Do you care? Are you a fan of the comic, or you just sort of nervous this could be a tragedy than actually a win? Tell me down below. Let me know. Of course, if you want to support it, it's on now on Kickstarters. Doing this recording on basically a Saturday. But besides that, how you felt about this? Do you care or not? Tell me down below. Tell me down below. Let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now let's talk about Toon Hive showing posting of the Rotten Tomato score of the new Teenage Mutant Mayhem animated series. The whole season had actually been released on Paramount Plus. Yeah, I think it was 12 episodes or 14 or something like that. I have not yet time to actually see it, but how Toon Hive posted the score of it, of these the fan score was basically 94, not bad, and the critic score 100%. That is just really good if you're a Turtle fan who actually likes this version of the Turtles. But be honest with you, you never really trust Rotten Tomatoes because they usually don't get everybody's opinion. Even that, you can't really trust it because it's how easily be manipulated of both sides, fans and critics. Because once more, usually people want to use Rotten Tomatoes score as sort of a political move or something like that. They just sort of, please stop. Just use the score like a true thing. Just be honest. This will always try to say just watch the show yourself or do the anime rule of 3 episodes. If you like it, you keep watching. If you don't watch it. But what I heard of some of the critics that it was okay. Even some fans who actually have chance to see it say the same thing. It's okay. It's not really amazing. It feels more like they stretch the idea. Think of it as sort of like a 7 out of 10. But what's more, it's not my score. It's what I heard some critic scores and some fans who watch have the chance to see the series. They keep saying the same thing. Instead of 7 out of 10 sort of scenario, it's not that amazing or not that bad. It just sort of they're still trying to figure out how this series actually work. Of course, I don't know if they nailed it in the very end of the series. I don't understand why they keep it in Paramount Plus. It sounds more a good idea to put this on Nickelodeon, but yet they prefer putting it on Paramount Plus. It's just sort of a very strange sort of way to do it. Even that the people who watch it are sort of kind of mixed. At least the people who I heard. Rotten Tomatoes keep saying it's 100% both sides, or semi 100%. At least doing this recording on Saturday. This can easily change a couple of days when I upload this to Wednesday. But other than that, how you felt about it? You have seen it? Do you like it? Or you think the Rotten Tomatoes line once again is up to your opinion after you did the 3 episode rule. Watch 3 episodes and final make decision that it actually is worth watching to the very end. Tap in down below how you felt about it. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now, another one from Toon Hive posting all the animated projects they did on D23 Expo. If you don't know what that is, it's basically they do it every 2 years showing what coming films and TV series they have on Disney. And for right now, they only post only the only animated projects. So it would be Mulan, not Mulan, I mean Zootopia 2, Incredibles 3, Frozen 3, Toy Story 5, Elliot, and Hopper. And also, Mulan, not Mulan, I can't say the name, Molali 2, the Hawaiian story. I'm sorry, I can't say the name, but you get the idea. But I have to say, it feels the same updates we get always. Even that I did watch a little bit of the Disney 23 Expo, that I got really bored because nothing really that unique. The only thing that kind of stands out is basically the Snow White and the Seven Dwarf trailer drop. It was exactly what people were saying before they actually showed the trailer. It's just sort of bad. I mean, it looks good, but it's all about the seven dwarves, and that was sort of very bad choices, not hiring little people, instead of actually making sort of this sort of weird hybrid. You could find some of the images online, or at least one character that just doesn't look right. It kind of feels a little bit unsettling in other words. It's sort of uncanny valley. That's the part of the best way to describe it. Of course, there's one person actually said something of one of the other live action movies, Stitch remade. It looks okay, at least better than actually Sonic first live action images. And I've seen the Stitch image. It looks okay. It's like you understand the 2D original uh, Lilo and Stitch movie relies on the art style they have and sort of how they use Stitch. They're still very adorable, but yet it sort of have that watercolor look that make it distinct and unique and refreshing. Making reality of the original story doesn't really make sense. It just sort of, I don't know, kind of odd or uncanny. At least it's a little better, but it's just sort of. Of course, one I am truly interested in is actually Hopper. That actually was sort of be directed of the same person who created We Bears. That's part of the only IP I'm sort of interested in because this was sort of made by Pixar. He's also directed by the same person who did We Bears. And that why I feel very confident because the creator We Bears, if you give him a project, the guy take it serious and make the best animated project he ever can. It's one of those that he could be the next Genndy kind of Gossy, in other words, if he has the chance. And this could be the moment to prove he is that good. and hopefully it could be even better. Of course, we all couldn't get wrong. And also, back to, sorry, I keep jumping the subject matter or IP. I actually see the image that someone dropped of the leak of image of one of the seven dwarfs, and just looked like kind of uncanny valley. In fact, this post of this person did a sort of a beam. He looks like the character from Mad. In a way, yeah, I think it's supposed to be dopey than anything else. It just feels odd. Of course, some people are excited from basically Incredibles 3. And I admit, yeah, that could actually work. At least, hopefully, better than the second one. The second one was okay. Not really much to say about that. But Hopper, it could be a good film. But of course, someone has said it better that the whole point of the original Snow White 1937 was to sort of to prove that people don't need live action actors to grab your attention. The animation do it for you. That was sort of the whole point of Walt Disney making Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was sort of more unique, something to prove animation is that powerful. You just need a good story and it needs a good budget to make it work. And that basically changed animation. Thanks to Snow White, we are now able to watch anime. Yes, anime was influenced by Walt Disney if you know your animation history or Disney history. Yes, that's how important the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs really is. But once more, it's up to you if you care or not. And everything else just feels just kind of a waste of time because everything else is just sort of, oh, is this thing that we talked about last time and last time. I mean, it doesn't feel refreshing. I think, in fact, Disney 23 Expo feels just sort of, why are you showing this? This used to be a simple drop online getting free promotion by news reporters and fans. And yet, they decided to, no, we gotta drop everything because everything I have mentioned, all the animated projects, only Hop, Zootopia 2, and Win or Lose, the only ones I'm actually interested because to me that feels more refreshing. Frozen 3, Toy Story 5, none of them really feels good because they just sort of tired. They don't come up with anything new. It just feels they're just making a franchise that don't have any new stories to tell. And I feel that's the only problem. That's what I feel about this sort of expo. It just feels tiring. The only three things was sort of interesting to me is Zootopia 2, Win or Lose, and Incredibles 3. I don't know, we think this expo of Disney was a waste of time. To me, it's yes. I don't know how you felt about it. You think everything come out of that expo was amazing. Even that, I just remind you, everything they said and talk about at that expo, it was being told over and over again this year. The updates, the controversy, everything you basically know if you follow pop culture or filming news or entertainment news, you have heard and seen all the leaks. So to me, when I watched this, I was sort of bored because I knew it was everything was sort of coming with all the bad news included. So yeah, this wasn't impressive to me. It was just sort of wasting time. I don't know how you felt. Tell me down below. Let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now another one from Toon Hive posting something very interesting on the Twitter slash X. Damn it, Popemel, the creator of Phineas and Ferb, actually saying will be a possibility having a crossover with Phineas and Ferb and Hansel and Gretel at some point. And that's basically end of quote. And you know what? I can see it because he has to have it doing crossovers with different shows that he believes he can actually make it work. Of course, you should take it serious when he says something like this. Will be probably depends if the show lasted long enough. He probably will do it because every time he says something like similar to this, it could be a possibility. But at the same time, it could happen the same thing as Murphy's Law, that he did a crossover with Phineas the Ferb, and he sort of killed the franchise of Murphy's Law. And that could be, it could oopsie again from Hansel and Gretel, because Hansel and Gretel is still sort of figuring out what to do of the show. The show is still good, has its issues, but Hansel and Gretel needs to find their bearings, need to find their own soul. And they are getting closer to that. They actually defining who they are in the show. If they do it too soon, it could be the same fate of the Murphy's Law. That just sort of show too many characters and ruin the moment and kill off interest of not one, this time maybe two shows if Dan decided to actually do it. That could be maybe could be a mistake. I don't know. You, it's up to you how you felt. You want a crossover, or you prefer like how Dad says, maybe in the near future, maybe after the third season of Hansel and Gretel could actually make it work in the series. If not, who knows? It depends on how the fans feel, or depends how Dan decided to execute the crossover. He does it wrong, he could repeat the same mistake of the last show he actually had. I don't know you, how you felt, tell me down below, let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now, this statement is sort of fun, is because Toon Hype sort of posted every single character returning from New Wish from the original Fairy Our Parents. He basically lists all the characters in the list here. Now, sorry, I'm being a little weird here. But besides that, the first one is basically During by Strangle. The second one, Dim Dimazone. The third one is Poof or Perry, Vicky, Floof or Larry, Tooth Fairy, and also Dalton Crocker, Cupid, and Anti-Cosmo, and Wanda. In fact, which character you wish to actually return? Of course, be honest, everybody keep asking for somehow, basically, Chester, because Chester is sort of kind of fan favorite because he is sort of part of the most relatable character. Well, not just him. A lot of people also wanted actually the not the anti fairies Pixies. They wanted the Pixies back. In fact, they actually were planning to come out of the season finale, but certain things went wrong, and they just decided to switch the script and just bring Wanda and Cosmo back, the anti version of them. And nobody knows why they decided that. It's just because they just didn't have the right handling in the last minute and they just decided to change it. But other than that, which character you wanted to appear of this No Wish or season 2, if they get a season 2, which characters you want back besides basically Chester and Pixies? Like, what other character you think can actually work of this New Wish? Tell me down below, let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon breaking news. Now, this is sort of exclusive at NPN. They actually are posting on their article saying Deadman has his own anime series on development in DCU Studios from the DCU. Now, some of you wondering, well, who is Deadman? And Deadman is sort of kind of underrated character that people don't give enough chance because Deadman is a very interesting type of character. His sort of origins is sort of a guy who basically a trapeze performer till he got accidentally killed by a trick, but he realized, oh no, someone actually assassinated him, but one of the goddesses of DC universes decided to give him a chance to take vengeance of the person who take his life. And basically he just goes each different team figuring out the supernatural. And that's basically what is Deadman. It's sort of, you could say, a very interesting sort of detective kind of ghost in a way that trying to understand what actually going on, who killed them, and sort of solve other mysteries. But all that, he is sort of underrated, at least in my opinion, because it's just sort of how fun and interesting you can use his power. On top of all this, he's the only one who actually kind of possessed or use supernatural abilities a very unique way than everybody else, especially the sort of magical world. I mean, people could possess other people, but nothing like powerful as that man. But yet, he's always sort of struggled to actually make his own animated project. So it's sort of a unique that decided to actually make a Deadman animated series. Of course, this is after James Gunn's TV series of sort of what was the other series he made it right now? The one the anime series called give me a second here. I had it right here this moment, but I kind of lost it. But besides that, I give you fun facts. He usually joined the Justice League Dark and other Justice League Dark projects, or he has his own basically single issues, or he basically cameos on Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman, depends on whatever case they're actually working on. But they usually use him very sparingly. And the project they have to wait after is sort of starting making this series is Creature Commandos. That's the project I'm talking about. After Creature Commandos end, they are starting Dead Man animated series. Of course, for right now, they do not have a basically writer for the project. It's just very early on basically project. They're figuring out what type of storylines, who will be head writer, who got directed. You have to pick the animated team to build everything. A lot of work. But I'm kind of glad Deadman has a chance to make his own anime series. In my opinion, he usually he's the most underrated used character in the DCU because it's sort of how he communicates. You have to be more creative because he's sort of a ghost. You wonder what they're gonna do all the different things with this character. Hopefully good, hopefully be very interesting, and hopefully he will actually be introduced in a DCU bigger universe. But out of that, are you excited or not? Tell me down below, let me know. And now let's talk about the next cartoon news. Now, another one from Toon Hive posting on the Twitter slash X. Dog in Space had been cancelled after Netflix give 2 seasons. And people are a little bit upset because it's Dog in Space. People really like this show. Especially this show was actually pretty good. If you don't know what Dog in Space, you never give it a chance. It's basically dogs and Star Trek universe. That's the best way to describe it. It's fun, it's charming, and also explorational. You also ask themselves if they're doing the right thing. Especially the whole job of them is hopping to planet to find a perfect human place for humans. In other words, they just exploring for the humankind to find a planet just for them, so they can move somewhere else besides Earth, because Earth becoming sort of too dangerous to live because they sort of destroyed it. So they're looking for a new planet, and the idea was correct dogs to find new planets so they can visit exactly there to be more safe for them. And that's sort of the quarter statement of Dog in Space, find home for the humans. And that's basically it. It's really fun, especially if you like Star Trek. It's more like if you like Star Trek and dogs, you have Dog in Space. Exactly how the title says, exactly what they give you. And what's more, it's a really fun little series. You have some moments that kind of maybe piss you off, but at the same time, it meant for sort of a family friendly kind of cartoon and trying to do most positive things to make it work. And some of the choices you kind of question, but yet you understand why they're actually doing it. And what's more, it's all up to you if you really like the series. And some people did like it. A lot of people are not vibing with this, sort of kind of angry and sad because to them this was a really good show that no one understands. We only got 2 seasons. They needed at least one more season or at least a special to end the whole series because the original series has a cliffhanger. And the cliffhanger is they thought that the only animals that were chosen by the human race, but the twist is no, they have another organization focused on cats looking the same thing as the dogs, looking for a planet for humans. But we don't know why they decided to make two factions of animals hunting planets for humans. And that's sort of the twist. And I think that's sort of the thing pissed off people so much because you live as a very interesting cliffhanger and you can't really resolve it if they don't have a third season. Even that you kind of maybe make people happy, at least giving at least a me a 45-minute special just to end the whole series. Just needed that two episodes sort of to explain what's actually going on. And that's the only thing they need to do, but yet animation is expensive and they don't know they get the return they want. And what's more, this was sort of a business decision. But sadly, you can't have what you want. But I don't know you how you felt about this. Are you pissed off? Are you okay with it? Or at least you're glad you have two seasons and you make your own headcanon of the ending? Tell me down below. Let me know. Now let's talk about the next cartoon segment. Now, this is our last segment of the day, and this one I prefer to end it with something special. This is from NME, the sort of website article that actually have proof showing Dan DeVito is reprising his old role from The Simpsons, actually called Herb, the Homer's half brother who was given away for safety reasons because they couldn't have two children. They couldn't provide them. So the one decided to give him to the orphanage and they one decided to keep him. And that would be Homer, who was kept, and his brother was sort of given away. But they does not give so much detail. But of course, the information was sort of leaked in the podcast and have a link down below of this website showing the podcast and one of the writers talking about, yeah, Dan DeVito is returning. But Dan DeVito only returns only 3 episodes. Now you can say 4 episodes because I think season 35, am I correct? I'm not sure that's season 35. I'm double checking here if I can find it. Besides that, it was yeah, wait, oh, sorry, season 36, there we go, that he will come out this new season. But also adding also other characters, John Cena, Tom Hanks, and Conan O'Brien, and other famous celebrities will appear that specific, I think, episode. But I think that's sort of maybe the whole season. They're not clarifying. But to be fair, they don't know what they actually gonna do with Dan DeVito of the episode. The only line we have is sort of Bart has a special birthday that will be a twist and change Bart's life. I'm guessing when I have to predict as an old Simpsons fan, I'm guessing Herb giving money to him or want to readopt Bart to have a better life than the situation he has or something like that. At least I'm pitching ideas that seems make sense what the system could do with this sort of idea because they're very vague what they're actually gonna do. But at the same time, sort of surprised that the video is coming back for that old character because he only actually returned 3 times in total, and one of them is sort of called my half brother, also old brother of mine, and the final episode, can you spare 2 dimes? And that's only 3 episodes he appears. He also appears some cameos in The Simpsons, but well, Dan DeVito voicing it is just sort of a cameo behind the background, and that's it. But other than that, what I understand, they attempted to get uh, Dan DeVito back, but I guess he could never come back and schedule a contract, or maybe he didn't want to, or feels they couldn't have anything else because, let's face it, those 3 episodes are very definitive of the character because you kind of end his sort of arc, so there's no point to bringing him back. So yeah, whatever idea came up with makes partly sense to Dan DeVito to come back because let's face it, it's Dan DeVito. He's a fun kind of guy. Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of twist idea they bring in with him or what they convince him to come back because this storyline could be very fun, very over the top, We don't know. But once more, it could be good. To be fair, uh, as that Devito uh bringing back, he every time he comes back it's just sort of interesting and fun because he's by the most serious storyline he came out, because let's face it, Herb is a very interesting character. He's so opposite of Homer. Every time he appears he gives this sort of gravitas, more interesting, more comical, but you feel so different from Homer that you want to know more. And I think that's why it made it work so well, because Herb was rich, was successful, he was desperate. He has the ups and downs, but he was sort of very interesting character because you don't know he being used by Homer or Homer being used by him, or would it be the twist. And I'm so surprised they never bring him back more often. Once again, I'm guessing that maybe Dan DeVito couldn't do it because schedule conflict, or he didn't believe that Herb needed to come back. Sometimes some actors just don't want to because he feels there's no point. But I don't know you. Are you glad that the individual coming back for this specific character? Once again, it's up to you because Herb was a fun character. He was very interesting. He was one of the most dramatic episodes in the series, in my opinion. Of course, you could counter that down below, whatever your opinion is on Herb. But I'm glad he come back at least for one more episode to see what they come up with. Hopefully be good. Let's face it, the systems used to be hit or miss. Their glory days are dead. It just hopefully just the episode be at least decent. I hope I would probably watch The Simpsons just that specific episode because I do enjoy Herb so much. Hopefully they keep it serious and dramatic and comical like always. But I don't know you. How you felt about this? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me below. Let me know. Or you even care. Now I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.